Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Look who I have with me.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep. So you guys may know that we just got off Wonder of the Seas, which is the world's largest cruise ship.
Yeah.
And we've learned some things along the way. This is our second cruise.
Second cruise, yeah.
And we wanted to do a video answering your questions. You guys sent in some amazing questions, so we're going to answer those and then talk a little bit about our experience on mostly Wonder, but we did also sail on Symphony of the Seas. So just what we've gathered over our two cruises. So if it could help you guys in any way, that would be amazing. So I think we want to start off by saying that we're going to be talking about Royal Caribbean because that's the only cruise line that we've been on. So we can't really speak for like Carnival or Norwegian or like Virgin and all that kind of stuff. Like we don't have any experience with that. Okay, so maybe we'll start with our questions that we got in because a lot of the questions were things we wanted to cover anyways. So maybe we'll start with that. Our first question came from Kat, and she wants to know if we book through a travel agent, and do you have to put so much money down when you book it, or do you pay in full? Like, can you make payments? And was everything all included? We got a few questions about what's included, so maybe we'll start with that on how to book it.
Okay. Initially, what we ended up doing, we went on Royal Caribbean website itself and we booked it ourselves.
Yeah, we didn't use a travel agent.
We didn't use travel agent.
We're
but
curious.
A lot of people do use travel agents,
Yeah.
but we have never used it and we always had success without using it.
We're kind of curious how that process would work because we've never used a travel agent for any of our vacations.
So what we did, we just used the Royal Caribbean website. It's very easy to navigate.
Yeah, so it's just royalcaribbean.com. I can link it down below.
Yeah, and you just pick what cruise you want to go on, and you pick what kind of balcony you might want, or interior cabins. Pick the date you want, what port you want.
They give you all your options there, and you just basically click what you want.
It's very easy to navigate.
Yeah.
So we like doing it ourselves because we just find it easy, and we have control over what we book. It's a lot easier. We always found.
Yeah, but mind you, we've never experienced a travel agent. Maybe
No.
that might even be easier. But
it might be easier.
From our experience, it's very easy to book a cruise.
And when you do book initially, you do have to put a deposit down. So when we booked our room, you had to put a $530 deposit down.
Was that for 4 people? Or was that just for the room?
For 4 people. It works out to roughly, say, $130 a person. It'd be $260 for a room for 2 people. It's $530 roughly for a room of 4.
Yeah.
So you put that down, and it's fully refundable if you cancel within a certain time frame. So if it may be 6 months before a trip you cancel, you get it back. And then you only get a portion of it back if it's from 6 months within.
Yeah.
So it depends on when you cancel that you get the deposit back.
I forgot to mention that we're in our cruise gear. We don't normally just wear.
We don't usually wear this. It's our normal
like in my
dress
little beach
attire.
hat.
Yeah.
I did this for the video.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so you can make payments, right?
You can make payments as much as you want. You can pay, so it's not
So
all
there's
at
a down
once,
payment.
which is a deposit.
Yeah.
And then
It's refundable up until a certain amount. Like I forget what the time was.
you have to have the full amount paid by maybe within a month or 2 of the cruise.
And they're very good at reminding you. Like you'll get emails saying
Yeah.
that your balance is going to be due, say, in September. Like they will keep reminding you, but you can make payments on it whenever you want.
If it's easier for you to make payments, you can make payments through.
Yeah.
Maybe it's every month you want to put.
Or you can pay it all up front.
$300 down, whatever is easiest for you and what's easier for that. So,
Yeah.
So you have options that way.
Yeah, so you can basically do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Pay for it in full, make
exactly.
payments, or just pay for it right at the end after your down payment. So you can definitely do that. Okay, so she also wanted to know, and someone else also wanted to know, what kind of plans can you buy on a cruise? Is everything included?
Okay, so basically
in your base price, what's included?
What's included in base price is you got, for food-wise, what's included, you get your main dining room, which is a table service that you get served, and then you also have your buffet and about 5 other restaurants roughly.
Yeah.
That's all included.
This is on Wonder.
This is on Wonder.
All the ships could be different.
All we're talking about basically is Wonder.
And Symphony.
And Symphony.
It's
They're very similar.
It's basically the same ship.
So what's included is all your food and that, but they do have specialty restaurants that charge, and drinks are not included. So if you want
pop's not
there's
included.
a pop package. If you want water, there's a water
Water's
bag.
not included.
If you want alcoholic drinks, there's a alcoholic drink package, and if you want just a coffee package, I think there is a specialty coffee package you can get too.
So what's included in your cruise fare is you're going to have water, not bottled water. So you can have like water that comes out of a like a fountain type, not a fountain,
Yeah.
but like a machine.
With juices and stuff.
And it also has like a lemonade type thing,
Yeah.
like fruit juice.
Yeah.
They have juices and water like that, like tap water. It's not tap water, but it's
it's
not bottled. You
it's
have to put a
included,
cup
yeah.
under it. Yeah, that's included, and your standard coffee, regular and decaf, is included with your cruise fare. But if you want like specialty coffees, if you want like lattes, cappuccinos, if you want pop, if you want bottled water, if you want milkshakes, smoothies, alcohol, that's all a separate fee, which we'll get into. But when basically all that's included is like a few juices, water, your main dining room, and
coffee,
and a
basic
bunch
coffee.
of restaurants, buffets, and there's a lot of extra costs with the cruise. It's a lot.
And like all your entertainment's included. You don't pay for any entertainment on the cruise.
No, it's all included.
It's all included. Or
Yeah.
even your slides and your flow riders, the entertainment. That's no extra charge. I know some cruises have extra charges for those things.
Oh, okay.
There's no extra charge for any entertainment on the cruise.
Yeah.
It's more so for your specialty restaurants and your beverage packages.
And the specialty restaurants are things like Chops Grill, Wonderland, Mason Jar. They're restaurants that
Apache Grill or
the Hibachi Grill, and you definitely do not need to eat at a specialty restaurant in order to have a wonderful cruise experience. The first time we went on a cruise, we just did the main.
We did two cruises. The first one we didn't do any specialty restaurant. We were great with the food. The second one you did Wonderland. I didn't go.
Yeah.
And
It was really fun.
it's fun to go, but you didn't need it.
No.
The food options are lots. That's included. So. But if you're someone that likes to do specialty restaurant, and like to do it.
If money's not an option for you and you're a foodie,
Yeah.
definitely do the specialty restaurants. Like they're
or at least,
amazing.
or maybe try one or two, or
They're
you
incredible.
can do it unlimited dining. You can go one every night if you want. But we find ourselves the main dining room is like a specialty restaurant. It's a new menu every night, and the service is better than any service you ever get at any restaurant.
Yeah.
So we highly recommend
The
the main
food
dining
on Wonder,
room.
like the food that's included in your cruise fare, is fantastic. It's
You're getting great.
It's
You're
so
getting
good.
steak. You're getting
like you get lobster, you get steak, you get shrimp, you get like
salmon. Like you're getting all the food that you would get at specialty restaurants. And
escargot. I tried escargot. I love good. I've never had that before.
so we're not big pushers for specialty restaurants, but a lot of people enjoy them and they like that experience. So it's to each their own. But for our sake, the food on the ship was top notch, even without specialty restaurants. So
yeah, it's definitely not something you need. But if you can afford it and you just love like fancy dining or like, and it's not even all fancy,
Just
but just
unique
like
dining,
different. That's an option for you for sure. And they also have like a package where you can do unlimited specialty dining.
yeah, and that's
Which is-
I think that's around $300.
Yeah.
So basically, $300 Canadian would get you. You can go to any special dining anytime you want, but you have to book those times.
Reservations.
You have to make reservations.
So more about what's included in your cruise.
Yeah.
There's an option to add tips.
Yeah. So when you book, you can book ahead of time. You can say pre-tip.
Yeah.
So it might cost per person $200 some Canadian.
You can prepay all your tips.
prepay your tips, and most people do that option. And people still on the cruise.
We
will
did,
still,
we did.
We did that, and we still tip some, but we wouldn't tip as much as we didn't pre-tip.
You pay a lot in tips.
No, you do pay a lot in
You
tips.
end up
'cause
paying a lot in tips, but it's so worth it.
If
They're
the service,
incredible.
in our opinion, if the service is good, you're going to tip more. And the service there was phenomenal. We had no issues with the service at all. Especially at the main dine, we always find the service.
it's when
And the
you-
bartenders in main dine was by far the best service we got.
Yeah, they were good. But like when you prepay your tips, like even though you know you're prepaid, you still feel crappy if you don't.
If you got good service, you don't tip.
And if you don't tip, but you've already tipped, but you kind of feel like you have to tip anyway. So like you kind of double tip.
Yeah,
in a way.
you end up tipping
Not
more.
everyone does, but we kind of did. 'Cause
Yeah.
we made sure we tipped our room attendant extra. We tipped our waiter and his assistant extra.
And then we'd tip at, if we get
The bar.
At
We
the bar,
always do.
we'd tip.
You're a big bar tipper.
I'm a
Trevor
bar-
likes to get good bar service.
There's a helpful tip. When you first go, if you have a bar that you like to commonly go to, a lot of times the bartenders are the same bartenders at each bar. They don't
yeah.
rotate. So
No.
if there's a bar that you like to go to, tip early and tip a good amount early.
They won't
that
forget. They
bartender?
won't forget you.
And so when you come back, you might get priority over other people if it's busy because they know that you tip well and you're night. You pay for your service that you did. Mm-hmm. So I did it before. I tipped. Bartender was good. I give a good tip. I come back. There's people ahead of me, but he says, "I'll take care of you. Come over here, Trevor."
Yeah. So if you want service like that, you could tip and they'll take care of you. They're very, very appreciative of the tips and
back to what's included and what's not. What's not included also is internet service and phone service. You have to buy that separate.
That's not included, but I highly recommend it.
Yes, it
depends on your lifestyle and what kind of vacation you want to do. You definitely don't need it, but
personally myself, since we're in a room of 4, so
it's us and our 2 teenagers.
So if we all got it, it almost costs around $100 Canadian per day.
That's how much we paid?
No. If everybody had it, it's paid $20 for each unit.
Yeah, for each device.
Yeah. So when we did it, only Jacqueline got it, and we could use her phone.
Nobody else could connect to it, only me. Like, it had to be my device, or you'd have to pay extra if his device was on it.
So we want to make sure one had it for communication, plus if we had to look up stuff.
Yeah.
But the big thing that they're trying to do but doesn't work well is they do have a free service for chat on their own Royal Caribbean app. That doesn't cost anything.
Basically, everyone who cruises on Royal Caribbean will get the Royal Caribbean app because it just has so much info about your vacation on there,
and it has your calendar.
So I think it's fairly newly launched, isn't it? This app where you can chat amongst other people in your party without having internet, but it doesn't work well. Very good at all.
Because the only time it can work is if the person who you're trying to communicate is on the app at the same time.
Yeah.
Or if they're not, then they don't get the message to log into the app.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get a hold of someone, it's not the best way to get a hold of someone.
We weren't a fan of it. It needs a lot of work. That messaging system, the free messaging system, needs a lot of work. But the thing is internet is so key, especially if you want to communicate with other people onto the ship.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're trying to work on that with this app and the messaging system. It just needs so much work. But like it's hard to communicate unless you have like walkie-talkies, which a lot of families do that. They have walkie-talkies and stuff. But it was hard to, like, there was a few times like I completely lost you and I was like, where's Trevor? Like, we're supposed to be at a show at this time and like I don't know where Trevor is. And like he didn't have internet, so I could not communicate with him. And for some reason my app the messaging on my app just did not work. I didn't receive any messages.
But it's the same issue though. If you try to get hold of me on the app, I have to be on the app for me to know she's messaging me. Yeah. It doesn't prompt you that someone gave you a message.
But if you have the internet, you could like Facebook message him.
Oh yeah.
Or iMessage if he doesn't have an iPhone, so I couldn't iMessage him. But like, I just feel like it's so beneficial to have the internet, and there's always downtime, and it's kind of nice sometimes to like check in at home and stuff. But it just totally depends on what kind of vacation you're doing and what you like. Some people like to completely disconnect and unplug on vacation, and then you definitely don't need internet in that case. But like, I wish we would have got internet for the kids at least, because everybody was on my phone and I was trying to vlog and everyone wanted to use my phone to like get in contact with so-and-so. Like my mom wanted to FaceTime my dad. You really didn't use it.
I don't like it.
But the kids wanted
me and
to
Jack went on a cruise again, just the two of us, I wouldn't get it.
No, I wouldn't.
There'd be no point for it. Unless it's just a communication thing for me to know where people are and try to get a hold of people.
And the internet is decent. It's pretty decent. When we went on Symphony, the internet was horrible. It was not good. Like, I wasn't even able to like upload pictures on Facebook unless it was like a certain time at night, and like it was just so dodgy. But on Wonder, I had 0 issues with internet on Wonder. Like,
so we should probably get back to what was the question again? What's included? We kind of veered off and told what's all included.
Okay, so another thing that is not included is if you want to pick your room.
Yeah, so when you book your cruise,
there's so many extra costs. Like,
initially when you book your cruise, so once you find out what cruise, what dates you want in the ship, in the park, when you click on the options, then you gotta decide what kind of room you want. So you're picking between an interior stateroom, which is the cheapest room, but then you have an
much cheaper.
Then you got an ocean view room, which is just shows you
a window
with a view of the ocean. And then you have balconies, and there's 2 different types of balconies. You have a balcony with the ocean view, which costs more, and you have a balcony with Central Park and the boardwalk view on Wonder of the Seas. Yeah. When we went, we picked the balcony with the ocean view, and we really enjoy that. We like to go out and sit on the deck and
I'm an introvert.
Deck. And it's a nice spot to wind down. It's a nice spot to go.
Yeah.
So you got to pick that when you book, and
that costs extra.
And then you pick what deck you want. Depends on the deck you pick depends if it costs extra or not.
If you want to be in the middle of the ship, you're going to pay extra.
Yeah, and the location too.
Yeah.
The what's that in what location? The middle of the ship costs more than the ends of the ship.
Yeah.
So there's lots of different extra costs when you first book
There's
a
so
cruise.
many.
So when you see a cruise on sale and you look at it and say, oh, it's only $600.
It's not.
It's really
It's $600 if you pick an interior room with no windows.
with them picking your room.
And they'll pick where you are on the ship. You have no say. Then it's $600.
So that's really they're going to probably put you in the worst room because they're picking the rooms.
Not always, but there's a high chance that you might not get.
Do you want to take that
room.
risk? But that risk might not be bad for somebody who, let's say you live close to a port and you just want to go on a quick, cheap cruise. That might be an option. But for someone like us,
there's ways to do it cheap, but
for us who travel to get to our cruise, we'd rather know what we got before we get there because we're already putting a lot of expense out there to get there. So we're willing to pay a little bit extra to get a room we prefer.
like you can actually like pick your room number. Like you can
Yeah.
pick the exact. Like we pay all the extra for like to make sure that we know what room we
Yeah.
get. And I like will research the crap out of like what room is what and like.
I realize they crap on your channel.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can say the F word.
Oh wow!
So what else is not included or is included?
Like you said before,
Your excursions are not included in your cruise fare.
Yeah,
That's all extra.
not one of all excursions are extra. Just that's straightforward. Like every cruise is like that though. But all and all activities. The only thing is, all activities they like say they have flow rider, they have water slides, they have climbing a rock, they have
Mini golf.
zip line, mini golf, escape rooms,
skating, ice skating.
ice skate. It's all included.
That's included, yeah.
What's not the only other thing that's not really included would be there's an arcade that you have to pay to play.
No.
But all your entertainment basically is included on the ship. All your shows are included. There's no extra fee for a show or anything like that. So that basically wraps up what's included and not included, I think. Unless there's anything else you can think of.
Do you want to talk about the price of the drink package?
The drink package varies. So basically what ended up costing us was we got it said it was a sale, so it said buy one, get one free. So what happens with a drink package is if one person gets the the alcoholic drink package in a room, anybody over the age of 21 has to get that also. Unless you get a doctor's note and submit it ahead of time that you physically are not allowed to drink, then you can opt out of it.
Yeah.
But if they opt out, then you still got to get the refreshment package. You got to get something.
Which is pop and
it's all your fancy drinks minus the alcohol, the refreshment package. So for us, the drinking package or the alcohol package it worked out around $1,500 Canadian. This includes tip and
was that per person or together?
altogether it worked out around $1,500 for two people to get the alcohol.
To get drunk every day.
To get drink every day as much as you want, but
I don't drink. I drink on vacation.
So that includes tip and tax. So that's deceiving too. So when people look at the packages, they say, "Oh, it's not a bad price." And then, well, they're going to add 20% tip. They're going to add tax on it.
Yeah.
So it's $1,500. So it worked out roughly for us around $100 Canadian per day for our drink package for each of us.
So 200 Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, 200 Canadian
Roughly.
a day.
Yeah. So, but so you compare that to if you buy a drink every day. So a drink down there for a frozen fancy drink is $13 US a day.
No, it's 14 now.
$14 US a day plus tip plus gratuity. So it would cost someone is around $17 US dollars for one drink of the fancy drink. So Canadian dollars, it's around $20. So for just drinking alone, for us, 5 fancy drinks would pay for a drink package per day. But that's not including what else we get. You get specialty coffee, which would cost, it's usually $5 or $6. Yeah. It gets milkshakes that would be $6 or $7.
We got milkshakes every day. They're so good.
Smoothies, which we say like near $10 if you paid out of pocket. Yeah. It gets your bottled water. It gets your pop. It gets you one of these cups for your pop package.
Oh my God.
So there's a lot of extras that come with it when you're comparing. People like to do math. Is it worth it getting the drink package? Not worth it.
Personally, I think it is, and I don't drink.
Even if we didn't spend enough to make it worth our while, we like it that we're not worrying about taking our wallet out or getting charged for every drink. So we try a drink. We don't like it.
I drink on vacation. That's what I mean.
No, but if one day we didn't drink at all, it's nice to have the option. And if you buy a drink that you never tried before, you didn't like it, put it to the side, get another one. It didn't feel like you're wasting $20. Even though you pay for it up front, you pay a big cost up front, it feels better, in my opinion, that you have it.
Yeah.
Than buying a drink every so often.
Yeah, and this could be a trick. I'm not sure if it's like something that's like frowned upon or not, but you could definitely, like if you're going with a bigger group, like we went with a very large group, you can arrange it so that there's only one of age adult in the room.
Oh, yes.
To get the drink package. Like say that I was just absolutely like not interested in having any drinks at all. Like I did not want the drink package. I could book in with like say my mom's room who did not have a drink package. I could book with them so that even though I would just stay with Trevor, according to the room, it would just say he's the only adult in the room, so he would only have to buy one drink package. You could do that if that's an option for you, if you're with like multiple families or groups or whatever. There's like little ways around it that way if you really did not want to have to like get a drink package. And it really sucks that you have to, everyone of age in the room has to have a drink package.
It sucks, but they know that you're going to abuse it. But you're going to abuse it anyways, like we would have during our trip.
Trevor, no, we didn't.
But like, if I want to say Jacqueline's not with me at the bar and I want to get a drink for her, I just need to have her room key with me and I can get 2 drinks. But if I'm just going up by myself and I want to get a drink for her, if I don't have a room key, I can only get 1 drink at a time.
Yeah.
So, because they swipe your card and you know which room people are in.
And your picture is linked to your card.
Yeah. So. But the one key trick that people don't know about, don't use enough is...
Are we teaching people how to be scammers?
I don't know if we should.
What?
Yeah. So the robotic bar is the key. There's no photography, but your name gets put on the screen. So if you really want to get free drinks from someone that has a drink package, give them your card and let them go to the robotic bar.
We never did that.
We didn't do that. Just let them go to the robotic bar and just keep ordering drinks one after the other. No.
So Jillian had lots of good questions. She wanted to know, so she asked about the food. How's the food there work? Is all inclusive? Yes, the food's all inclusive unless you want something super fancy and elaborate like a hibachi grill or
a restaurant that's on
seafood. Or
there's a Playmakers one too that's extra.
So for the most part, yes, it's all included. Like you could never pay a single cent for food and you would be well fed for the whole week. So that is included. Are the excursions expensive?
It depends on the excursion.
Yeah.
Basically, excursions can range anywhere from $40 to $2,000. There's some that you want to rent a cabana bay bed and all that. Yeah. It costs $2,000.
Cabana bay?
Not Cabana Bay.
You're thinking of...
Not Cabana Bay.
You want to rent the whole resort? Then no.
No, there's some of these like huts, we'll call them, or that's on
they're cabanas, just not cabana bay. Yeah, if you want to rent like a day bed or cabana or...
Some of those things can get very pricey. But for excursion wise, if you want to tour around, typically the range would go from
100.
Like, the low end would be 80 to 100 to the high end of 300.
And my biggest tip would be try to book through Royal Caribbean, because that's what we're talking about right now is Royal Caribbean, but they on their app they give you a list of all of their excursions that they offer, and when you book through Royal Caribbean and doing their excursions, they guarantee that you get back to the ship on time. And if you're not back on time, the ship will wait for you because you're booked through Royal Caribbean. But if you're just booked through a third party, or like you get off the ship
and book one off,
and you just see someone standing there saying they're going to take you on an excursion, which you see a lot of that, that's not guaranteed by Royal Caribbean. So if you don't make it back in time, they will see that you're not booked through Royal Caribbean and they are going to leave. They will not wait for you at all. So we always book through Royal Caribbean for our excursions because you have that safety net. And like you could be an hour late and they're going to be like, well,
the ship has to wait no matter
they're going to wait for you. So you just, I don't know, I just feel better booking through the actual cruise line when it comes to excursions. But
and that's another thing you can book on the website when you're on the app or on your book. You can book that ahead of time, and it's encouraged to book well ahead of time. Some of the things get booked though.
She also asked how long are you at each
roughly
port?
8 to 9 hours.
It usually depends on where you're going. Like there were some ports we were there 8 hours, and then there were some ports we were there for 9 hours.
Usually get around 7:30, 8 in the morning, and you might get off the cruise around 9.
Yeah.
And then you're leaving around 4:35. That's on the average.
They always let you know what time you're going to be docking and what time you're allowed off the ship, and then what time you have to be back on the ship. It's very well. They make sure you know.
Yeah, there's no worry that way. But typically,
you're usually there for a day.
Usually, it's a full day. Yeah. You get back on the cruise anytime between 4 and 5.
Usually,
yeah.
From the ports that we've had. What are some tips you have for someone that wants to try a cruise?
Do it.
Aw, yeah.
Do it.
We should do another one.
By far, my best vacation is doing a cruise.
It is.
But everybody's different.
Yeah.
But for me, I like the relaxation of a cruise. It's a true vacation. All your entertainment's in one spot. You don't have to take an Uber to get anywhere to go over. I really enjoy that aspect of not having to go to a restaurant and pay every time you go on a vacation. It's all paid for up front, and it's all right.
And some of the islands that they take you to is all included as well.
Yeah, like there's 2 islands that we went to is included.
Like if you have a drink package, your drinks are included. All your food, no matter what, is included.
Yeah.
Like everything on the island is included. If it's a Royal Caribbean private island, you don't have to pay for anything except for like your souvenirs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my tip would be, honestly, and I don't know, this might be like unpopular, but I would try not to like cheap out on it. Like I would, if you're gonna go, like get the room you want.
Yeah.
Because it truly makes a difference. I feel like get the room you want. Like if you want the ocean balcony, get the ocean balcony. Because I feel like you would regret it if that's something you want. Not everybody wants that at all.
But some people might prefer the interior cabin because
Yeah, it
they're
depends.
never in the room. They like to be on the pool deck all the time.
Because it is quite a bit extra. Like it's like double.
I'd say let's say I don't know. Let's say it's $3,000 for a room for 2 people for an ocean balcony. It'd probably be around $2,000 for an interior. So it's about 30% cheaper, roughly.
I'm like, it's double. But that would be my advice, is like, just give yourself the best experience, because it is so good. To me, it's just so worth it to have that, your own private balcony out into the ocean. Or we've never did the interior
so I can't really,
balcony, so I don't know what they're like, but I think that would be so interesting. Like I don't know because I just love the ocean balcony so much. Like, I don't know if I'd ever want to book it without it. But I'd love to see what it's like on the inside balcony, like looking into the ship. We did the
opposite, though. We did the really nice at first. It's hard to go back to go the other way now.
Yeah, but I would, that would be my advice, is like, if you're even considering, like, say, the drink package, or like even a fun restaurant that you're really interested in that is on the ship, like, my advice would be just do it, because it might be the only cruise you ever go on. You never know.
So make it worth your while.
I just think it's so, all those extras, that it's so annoying to pay for and stuff.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're not sponsored. We're definitely not sponsored by literally anybody. But like, I just feel like it's so worth it. Like, my advice would be to just do it. Like, if you can, just do it. Like, it's just so, I don't know. It's so cool. Another question, I can't find it right here this second, but I got it. I think I got it actually on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
But she asked, like, is something about the big ships. Like, her husband was kind of like worried about crowds.
Right.
On the bigger ships, she wanted to go on a bigger ship, and he was a little bit concerned about the crowds and stuff. And that's a lot of people ask, like, about the crowds. Like, is it like, because it's the biggest ship in the world. It's like nearly 8,000 people on this ship. Yeah. Does it get crowded? Does it feel busy? Are there lines? Like, that's a pretty big question. And in our experience, on both of the ships, we went on Symphony, which at the time was the biggest ship. Then we went on Wonder, which is currently the biggest ship in the world. We never had an issue with crowding.
It doesn't feel crowded.
Other than
elevators.
Mealtime. Elevators right at mealtime when you're trying to get to the I didn't notice the show times though.
No, when you're leaving the shows, to try to leave the shows, and
I just went to a different elevator. I just walked like through the boardwalk or something, and I went to a different elevator. That never really.
But I never been on a smaller cruise. But here'd be my take on this.
Okay.
If you're on a smaller cruise, there's less people, but there's also less space. There's less amenities. There's less restaurants. There's less places where people can go. Mm-hmm. So I don't think a bigger cruise will make you feel crowded compared to a smaller cruise, where the bigger cruise has more options for people to go to.
Like, this ship is ginormous, you guys. Like, it's just, it would be near impossible to feel like.
I've never felt crowded on that ship. It's going to be busy, obviously, on
for our sea days.
Sea day up by the pool.
You notice people around, but it's never like, we never once waited for food. Not one time.
Or your first departure. Everybody's on the pool deck excited for it. But it doesn't feel crowded. But after all that's done, and during the regular days, you never feel crowded.
No.
I never felt crowded once.
The only time, like I said, you notice
for elevators
is waiting for an elevator at 5:30, going to your meal, going to supper. You kind of have to wait for the elevator.
That's about it.
That was the only time.
But walking around the cruise, you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really there. We never waited in line for ice cream. We never waited in line for food at the buffet.
No.
We never not got a table at the buffet.
Like
we
there's so many.
We never even waited at the bar.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's so many bars, there's so many restaurants for the people on the cruise. So say a restaurant per person is probably better on a bigger cruise than a smaller.
Like it's so well, everyone just like scatters everywhere. Like it's really it's like a zero issue.
It's laid out well, and they have these different communities which separates people too. Neighborhoods, I guess. Yeah. You have like Central Park, which is a big area. You have Boardwalk's a big area. Yeah. These are, and then you have all your pool decks. So there's lots of options. Never feel crowded. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's not even. That was never even an issue.
And we went, and both times we went, it was sold out, and it was never crowded.
Yeah, we were full capacity. Yeah. Are you planning on any more cruises in the future? I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, we will plan one down the road, but not in the near future.
I'm thinking kind of near, but not near.
She might think near, but not near.
We definitely will be going on another cruise.
Within the next 10 years, probably.
You stop. Oh my God, 10 years.
But we will do a cruise at some point.
Okay, Helen also wants to know, do you put money aside for the cruise way ahead of time, or do you buy travel vouchers? I'm really curious on how other people plan to pay for their vacations and how you get good deals. So we got a really good deal. Should we tell them about what happened?
So want you or me?
You can tell them, but this is...
Okay, so basically what happened...
We got very lucky.
Yeah, so we have a big group that we're going, but we're all booking it individually.
We all booked our own cruise, but we basically picked the ship and the dates, and everyone just picked where they wanted to stay on the ship and all that kind of stuff.
So initially we booked with Harmony of Seas.
Which is a beautiful ship.
A year and a half before the actual cruise we're going on.
Yeah.
So first advice, book as early as possible because that's your cheapest rates.
It does not get cheaper the closer you get.
If it gets cheaper, you can cancel and rebook for the cheaper rate.
Yeah.
So always book early. No, there's no harm in that.
No.
You don't lose money booking early, nothing. Okay, so we booked Harmony first because they just refurbished the cruise line a year ago. So it looked very similar to what we went on Symphony.
A jumbo, huge ship that looked exactly like the ship we just came off of, Symphony of the Sea, for like a fraction of the price.
Yeah, like it probably could have been half or less than half than what
Much
Symphony
cheaper
was.
because it's an older ship, but it was recently refurbished.
So we booked that because we had a big group, so we wanted to get good deals. We booked that. And then it's almost a year before our cruise, we get, or maybe even 8 months, we get an email notification saying, due to Wonder of the Seas, the newest ship they built, not going to be doing cruises in Asia, that's moving its port to Port Canaveral.
Yeah, originally it was supposed to be in Asia
mainly.
Yeah.
So it's coming to Port Canaveral for doing the Caribbean cruises in the same time frame Harmony was. So they don't have two Royal Caribbean cruise ships docked of the mega ships in Port Canaveral.
Yeah.
So they had to move Harmony out of there. But since we were booked with Harmony at Port Canaveral, they converted our itinerary from Harmony to Wonder, which was amazing.
We did not pay the Wonder of the Seas price tag. We paid Harmony prices for the biggest, newest ship in the world.
And I think when we looked at it, if we had to pay Wonder's prices compared to Harmony, it was at least double, maybe more than double the price. So we got an amazing deal.
And that's because we booked early.
And that was just luck. That is pure luck.
So book early. Like that, if you... if you know you're going on a cruise, book it because
book early
you never know.
You always book early because, like I said, you might, and the deals are better early. People always think, wait last minute, I'm going to find this good deal. No, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
Especially on the bigger cruises, the price goes up. The price goes up.
We look at cruise prices all the time.
The price unless it's a smaller ship that doesn't get full, you might find a last minute deal there. Yeah. But on the bigger cruise ships that get full, earlier is way better than later. The price will never go down. And if, like I said, if it did go down, and if you know, maybe Black Friday sale or something that came up, you can cancel your booking you had before and then rebook and get that deal.
And that's the same as the drink package.
Yes.
The drink package's prices change quite often.
Yeah.
Book it at whatever price you are comfortable with, and you can cancel it and rebook it for a better price if you notice the price is better.
And keep looking at deals. Keep looking for deals.
It's so easy to do.
And that's why I encourage more than for do it yourself than travel agent, because you can keep checking, is there a better deal coming?
But I bet you they check too.
They probably do, but I don't know. I don't have experience.
We don't have. We can't comment.
I like the travel agency of Trevor Gallant Incorporated. It's better than others.
You do book good. You do book good vacations. Okay. So she wanted to know, did we put money aside for the cruising?
So basically, initially, you got to put a deposit down. So we put that lump sum down, and you can make payments anytime you want. If you have extra money, you put payments down. My best advice for if you're going on a cruise or any vacation is you put so much money per week or every 2 weeks, whatever's easiest for you, for a travel budget. So let's say it's $200 you want to put down maybe $100 a week you want to put aside. So that gives you, say, $5,000 in a year. And then there's your travel money. It's probably the easiest way and the best way to save for a vacation. So when you do want to go on vacation, you have this pot that's separate account from anything else. So, but for us personally, we didn't do it that way, but I encourage that as the best way for travel.
And we, when we did Disney, we got a lot of gift cards, which if you're doing a Disney trip, if you want to like save, this is a little off topic, but save for like a trip like Disney, I highly recommend getting gift cards and just storing them whenever you can.
Save for Christmas.
That's what my sister paid for her entire Disney day by over the last few years, just buying Disney gift cards whenever she had extra money to do so, and it paid for her whole thing just with Disney gift cards, which is really cool. But that's a little off topic. But
for saving money, just whatever you can save, and put it to. And like I said, it's the easiest way is just put it to, when you book your cruise. If you have extra money, put it against your cruise so that it doesn't feel like a big lump sum at the end.
Sherry wanted to know why we didn't get off the ship in Jamaica. And that was basically we didn't have any excursions booked for excursions.
Yeah, because we looked at the excursions ahead of time.
Yeah.
And there wasn't one that we really liked. So if there's not an excursion you really like, stay on the cruise.
We personally love doing a ship day when the ship is ported. Like when the ship, everyone's off the ship going on these amazing adventures, and we just like having like the ship basically to yourself because there's so much to do. Like it's just like completely empty.
Pool chairs are wide open. You have no problem with pools, water slides, restaurants. It's never even close to busy.
So we like to do that. We did that on Symphony a lot.
Yeah.
We didn't get off the ship a lot in Symphony because we really just didn't know what we were doing.
It depends what you want to do. Like a lot of people, they book the cruise because they want to be on the cruise. And some people like cruise because they stop at different islands and like to experience different islands.
Yeah.
But we just did the one excursion this time.
No. Oh yeah,
the Blue Lagoon.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, I did too. I did Sip and Paint.
Oh, right.
But okay, so in Jamaica, we didn't have anything planned, and we weren't comfortable going off the ship and just exploring with no agenda.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't something we wanted to do.
Yeah, it depends what you want. Like
some people might.
A lot of these cruise ports, though, they have a lot of markets right when you get off the cruise. So if you just want to get off the cruise for an hour or two, and you might want to get a souvenir.
Yeah.
I would recommend that part.
Yeah, my mom did that.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, and then they come back to the cruise for lunch because the food.
We just didn't want to wander around aimlessly, like with no agenda, with two teenagers.
But we had no plans.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
We just didn't feel like we had to get off and do just wander around.
Yeah.
Like, and we just didn't feel safe doing that. We don't know Jamaica.
No,
I wouldn't do that anywhere. Like
Yeah.
we always have a plan. Like when we get off the ship, we don't just hope to find someone to take us somewhere or like tell us you should go to this beach or this.
Yeah, and like some people they might just go get a camp and say take me somewhere. We're not that type of people.
Yeah.
But we didn't. We looked at Falmouth, Jamaica, and there was nothing that really interested us, so we just stayed on the ship.
Yeah. But the thing about excursions, our first cruise we went on, we did not book any excursions beforehand, and by the time we got on the ship, they were all booked. There was none available, so we couldn't do any excursions, and I regretted that so much because I wanted to experience we went to St. Kitts and
St.
Thomas.
Yeah.
And we didn't really. We got off the ship and walked around just in the ship area in the markets, and it was kind of like, oh, okay, like.
Yeah.
I really would have loved to have seen something there, and we just couldn't and we weren't comfortable booking like third party, so we
just didn't bother.
We missed out on that, and that's the one thing I took into this cruise was that I wanted to make sure that I booked excursions, and you do have to book them.
And just like anything.
He learned that the hard way.
Anything on the cruise.
He didn't want to jump on the excursions, but I wanted to because they book so fast.
Yeah, because the first time we went, we were rookies, and the first thing we thought was, well, go on the cruise, see what we feel like. If we don't feel like doing an excursion,
we won't do it.
We won't do it. If we feel like doing it, we'll book it. And then we realize, okay, they're all sold out. We can't book it. So it's like anything on cruises. book early.
The earlier you book, the better.
Dude, what's the
for
worst
anything.
thing? The worst thing you do is cancel and get your money back.
Yeah.
So book early.
We canceled a few excursions because the timing was kind of weird.
Yeah.
When we figured out more of what we wanted to do that day, the sip and paint, the time we picked actually wasn't going to work out, so we just canceled it and rebooked it at a different time.
So it's very easy. Just book early, and you can always cancel.
Don't sleep on it, especially Perfect Day, which we're going to do a separate video all about Perfect Day at Coco Cay. That's a video in itself. It is the most amazing day that you'll have on your cruise.
Yeah,
it is so much
it's
fun.
personally my favorite
And we
stop.
did not buy a single extra thing on Perfect Day, and we had the best day.
We never spent a thing on Perfect Day both times we were there.
Yeah, we're going to do a video talking just about Perfect Day
Yeah.
because it needs its own video. It is so good. And that's a private island that most Caribbean cruises
Have their own.
Royal Caribbean cruises they stop at, most of them.
Well, every cruise has their own private island usually.
Yeah.
And this is Royal Caribbean's signature one.
So those are the questions, but I wanted to quickly talk about the things that we did not like about the cruise because it wasn't all
Or change or something.
what we would change. So the one thing that we would do differently next time, and this is personal preference, but we would do later dining. So when you're on the cruise, you can pick it. I'm talking about the main dining room. Okay. If you want to be eating in the main dining room, which is a sit down meal, they give you a menu, they serve you all that, and it's all included in your price. You have to pick whether you want to have early dining or late dining. There's my time dining, but I literally don't know anything about that.
My dining is basically you're on a cancellation list. So let's say you don't have anything booked, but you go to my time dine. By 5:30, if the people who are supposed to at the 5 o'clock sit-in don't show up, you can get their spot.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in
No,
that.
I'd rather have a fixed time.
We don't know anything about that, but our first cruise and our second cruise, we picked 5:15, whatever it is, between 5:30 dining, or you can pick 7:30 dining. So our first cruise we picked 5:15 dining. We loved it.
It worked great for us. Yeah.
But so we automatically this cruise we're like, okay, we're gonna do the early dining. This is stuff you pick when you book your cruise. They'll tell you everything you need to know. So one of the decisions you have to make when you're booking your cruise is what time of dining you want. So we automatically picked 5:30 because it went so well our first cruise. We did not love it on our second cruise.
But we kind of picked it for a reason too, was because we thought the shows would interfere with shows. So we thought you do the early dining, we have all the shows options later.
Yeah.
But the shows, there's always different times for shows. So if you do a 7:30 dining, you might do a 5 o'clock show or early show.
Yeah, we did not like the early dining as much this time because we got off the ship more.
And you felt rushed.
We did not get off the ship. Like I said, last time, our last cruise, we just walked around for a few minutes, came back on the ship. So we had all the time of the day. So we didn't notice that it was like early. But this time we got off the ship almost every time, and I felt rushed. I felt like I had to leave the private islands or whatever island we were on. I felt like I had to leave early in order to get back in time to get dressed and ready for 5:30 dinner. When the ship doesn't leave till 5, like you could be on that beautiful island till 5 o'clock every day.
Yeah.
But we always would leave at like 3:30 because we wanted to get showered and ready for dinner. And so next time I would definitely do the later dining because...
And the other benefit of it too, I remember we talked about they don't have, for meals that are included, the latest is the buffet and it closes at 9.
Yeah.
So the only snacks they have past 9 or food that you eat that's included is pizza from
which is
Sorrento.
so good.
Really
it's
good.
The best pizza ever.
And they have some sandwiches at the Cafe Promenade.
Yeah.
And that's the only options for snacks later. So if you have a later dinner, you're not going to feel the need to snack later. So that's another benefit of having a later dinner, I think.
Yeah. We really kind of wish we did the later dining this time just because we felt a little rushed around supper time. So that's something that we would do differently.
Especially since we really enjoy the main diner. Because a lot of people, they don't care about that because they might just go to a buffet for supper. They don't care if they go to the main dining room. But for people like us who really enjoy the main dining room, the late dining.
I just like being
option.
waited on and like feel like you're in like a restaurant. You get to order your food. You don't have to like go up to a buffet. Like I love the main dining room.
Well,
the food is so good there too.
Well, the difference too is the first time we were on the cruise, we only went to the main dining room 3 nights.
I know. What were we doing?
We just didn't feel like going some nights. We didn't, and that's the benefit too when it's only 2 people.
You don't have to go to the main dining room either. That's optional. You can do whatever you want. They don't care.
Yeah,
do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can go to a buffet. You can go to other restaurants. It depends if people like schedule, and some people like the main dining because it feels like a specialty restaurant. So people like that part of it too. Well, some people just like to come and go as a buffet. Like if you're a family with kids that don't like to sit for an hour and a half, buffet's probably a better option.
Another thing I did not like is that bottled water is not just a thing like
In the fridge.
what?
No, like bottled water, in my opinion, should be in everybody's fridge in the rooms.
I just feel like you pay so much money to go on a cruise, like they should provide bottled water for you.
But instead, if you want bottled water, you have to have a
You
drink
have to have,
package.
we were able to get bottled water because
it's
we had
part
the
of
drink
ours.
package, but I feel like it should be available to everybody. Like I just don't know why you just, I don't know.
Your mom has a soda package, she can't get bottled water. You have to buy a specific bottled water package to get bottled water.
Yeah,
or,
you have to
or
buy...
or have the refreshment package or the...
I just think that's a little bit like sleazy. I'm like,
I agree with that.
I'm like, you should provide water. They have water, but it's like you have to go down and get it with a cup.
Yeah.
They just don't have like bottled water you can keep in your fridge for whenever you want to, you have to like go down and get it.
Yeah.
That was another con.
Another one that people mentioned to us too is maybe have a store, not grocery store, but like a grocery store with snacks. So if people want to just go, even if they want to buy their own snacks for later at night, there's options because people like chips or there was really no option for that.
No, the snacks are mostly like pastries.
If you want to go to a buffet and pick up some snacks from there and have it in your room, there's lots of pastries you can bring back. But they do have like a sugar candy place, but you pay money for that and stuff like that. But overall, that'd be the big thing we would change it to dining time, late dining.
And that's personal preference because the first time we loved the early.
Yeah.
The second time we wish we would have had later. I forgot another question I got was, would you recommend going on a cruise just as a couple first or with bring your kids too? This was someone who asked who has kids.
Personal preference, couple. First.
I would do it just you and your spouse
Like
first.
we really enjoyed with our kids coming. They're really good on cruise. But I prefer your first cruise. I'd say go as a couple.
I feel like you'll have a better experience. Not that we didn't have
No.
a good experience with the kids, and I mean our kids are older too, so
it's easy for them.
Yeah.
They're easy.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be harder for younger kids. Depends on what you want to do on the cruise. They do have options. They do have daycares. If you have a younger kid, you want to drop off at a daycare, and you and your wife or significant other want to explore adult things, they do have that option on these cruises.
yeah.
But
There's a lot to do for younger kids. We
Yeah.
never really explored that kind of area of the ship because
like
we didn't.
They have a kid zone and stuff like that.
Oh, there's like a whole thing for younger children, like their own water park, their own,
Yeah.
and you have to be, you can't just go in that water park. You have to be a child. They have like different things like that. I just feel like
for a first cruise,
if you're trying to decide whether to go just you and your spouse or your spouse and your kids, just go you and your spouse. I feel like I would say that for any vacation.
Yeah,
Just do it the two of you
and
first.
it makes it look like our kids are so easy on vacations.
Oh, they're chill. Yeah, they're very chill.
There's no issues. Like they're old enough that we can come and go as we please on cruises. They can be in the room by themselves. Like they can go explore on their own.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was hard for us. If we just say for your first cruise, I think I would go with you and your significant other. Yeah.
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 Oh, the boarding of the ship.
Oh yeah, the Port Canaveral.
Oh.
A1.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The best experience ever. Like from the time we got out of our Uber to
On the
ship was
10 minutes, 15.
no.
It's the length of time it takes you to walk to get there. It might have been 10 minutes at most, 5 to 10.
Max. I was like 2 minutes.
No,
it
it's
was
5
so
to 10.
Trevor, as soon as we walked in there, they took us.
I know. As soon as we got an Uber, you gotta get your luggage to the porter. But
He was right outside our Uber.
It's so easy.
It was so...
we only been two
Like,
ports
it's
before.
so quick.
We're in Miami and we're at Port Canaveral. The one in Miami from when we got to the
was
port,
great. It was great, but longer.
no, but it was like 40 minutes from the time we got in a lineup to actually get dropped off, compared to we had no line getting dropped off at Port Canaveral.
Oh yeah.
We had like 40 minutes in
I forgot about
that part, but once we got off, it was pretty quick.
The port is incredible. Port Canaveral. If you're cruising in a Port Canaveral,
So we getting off, we want to get off early. We took our own luggage down, so we don't have to worry about getting luggage. 7:30, we got off the cruise. It's just walk. You walked, and as soon as we got out, our Uber that we ordered was right there. There's no lineups. So easy.
we were at the gates of Disney at 9 a.m. and we were still on the ship at 7:30. And it's an hour drive.
And we had an hour drive to our hotel, drop our bags off, and take another Uber to Disney, and we still got there by 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's so smooth and easy, and
Yeah.
And maybe just a few tips about your luggage whenever you get off your transportation. There's wherever you're getting dropped off, there's people all around waiting to take your bags if you want to check your bags.
Oh, that's another thing. They give you bag tags. Check as many bags as you can.
Yeah.
Like, you might only want to keep one bag.
And there's no cost to this. It's free. You just tip.
The only thing I didn't like was that we kept too many carry-ons. We could put tags on all our carry-ons, except for maybe keep one bag that you might want, maybe a change of clothes or something like that. Because all you do is put a tag on it, you tip the porter, and our bags were in our room by like 1 o'clock that we know, wasn't it?
Might have been earlier.
It could have been earlier.
We
didn't
checked
know
at 1 o'clock and we got on the ship at like 11:30.
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half at most.
Yeah.
So
our recommendation is, like, a lot of people say don't check all your bags, like keep a bag.
I'm
like, just check them all, and then you can like
but we haven't
walk around the ship with no bags.
Yeah, we took a couple of carry-ons this time, and next time we go, I would never take a carry-on. I might have a kit bag, and that would be
if you have anything important like meds or something, maybe have that
in the kit bag,
in your purse or kit bag or something.
But instead of carrying a carry-on around, I didn't like that.
You really didn't need to.
You don't need to, because you really only have about an hour before you go to your room.
Yeah. That would be my advice. And carry your bags off the ship too. It's so quick.
And you can go.
But there's an option that if you don't, like, if you want them to take your bags for you,
you put it outside.
You put it outside your room the night before, and they'll come pick up your bags, and it'll be like
you have to go to a pickup spot to pick them up. But
I would just take your bag.
So they tell you what time you're supposed to leave the ship the night before.
Yeah.
So if you're taking your own bags, you can go anytime before that time. That's the latest you can go. But you can go anytime. So if you have an airplane to catch at 12 o'clock in Orlando, but they say you have to depart by 9 o'clock in the morning, you take your bags, you can leave at 7. So I highly recommend taking your own bags. It just eliminates another step of trying to find your bags.
Yeah. That would be a tip that we have.
Yeah.
But I think that's everything we have, eh?
I think so.
Yeah, let me know if we've missed anything. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments below, because we can address them in our perfect day video when we do our video about perfect day at Coco Cay. I think that'll be a good one. We had so much fun. Yeah, by far the best stop. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching, guys, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm good at this. I never ask for thumbs up or subscribe. I always forget. I guess you're supposed to say it at the start of the video. You said it at the end. If you're still here, give it a thumbs up. Yeah. But I hope you guys have a wonderful cruise if you're planning on cruising, and I'll see you guys really soon in my next video. Bye. Bye.